way through the. Okay.
Oh no. What happened? Oh, there I am. It's one of those things. We're still figuring out things, and we pop in and out on occasion. It's okay. I'm here now. Welcome everybody to Tavern Talks. As you can see, I'm not James. Oh no, everyone else popped out. It's yay. We're still dealing with a couple of tech issues on the new streaming setup, so bear with us. Anyway, I'm not James. I'm Beaker. I'm Chuck, your host for tonight. With me, you can see my lovely co-host, my wife Michelle, Nerd Mom herself, our Pink Daddy. For those of you who follow our Power Daddies, Power Rangers TTRPG. Now, a couple of things before we get going, and then I'll introduce our guest because I know you see him up there. He's great. He's a funny guy. But I'm going to put the pause on him for a moment. So we've got a couple of sponsors that we typically like to run through. All right. First off, if you like the music that you are hearing now, and on any other show that we use here on Tabletop Misfits, that is thanks to our friends over at Monument Studios. If you go check them out and use the code MISFIT on checkout, you can get 30% off or 3 months free of their Fantasy Plus. It is a huge library with a plethora of sounds and music, and it's wonderful. If you want more math rocks, go check out our friends over at CanadianDice.ca. Use the code MISFIT15 for 15% off your order. You want a shirt that has the Beaker Builds logo or the Tabletop Misfits logo. For right now, go check out DungeonGrandmaster.com. A big sponsor of ours is LastHopeMiniatures.com. Go to their website, and whatever you buy, if you use the code MISFIT, you'll get 40% off. It's a huge deal. huge deal. Anyway, enough of that. I'll have more to say at the very end as we wrap up about what's going on. But let's just go ahead and dive on into this. Our lovely guest, Matthew Glover. Please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Matthew Glover. I'm a voice actor out in Central Florida. I'm well known for my character Krunkface, who's a Warhammer 40k orc. Inspired by Warhammer 40k orc. But I'm well known for my WAAAGHFIRMASHUNZ that I do. But I've also been in some video games and some audiobooks and stuff like that too.
Well, sweet. Short and sweet. I like it.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So for those of you who've watched Tavern Talks before, you know we have a couple of standard questions. For those that don't, just bear in mind. But this first half, we typically like to interview our guests and see what they've done in the TTRPG space. In this case, it'll be a mix of that and his VO experience. And then we'll get into his favorite monster. It's going to be great. And then at the end of the hour, we have our happy hour where every one of our viewers, if you have questions, put them in the chat and we'll ask Matt or me or Michelle, depending on the question. It's a fun time. Honestly, some of the best questions come out of that. So let's go ahead and roll right into it. Matt, how long have you been playing D&D, TTRPGs in general?
Man, my timetable is all messed up, but I've been playing for a while. Let's see if I can remember when I started playing D&D. So I was trying to get better at writing movie scripts, because I was out of film school and writing, short films and stuff like that. And I've got like 7 or 8 feature-length film scripts in my head, but it's hard for me to write them down. And so I was like, well, maybe if I start, and then I came across like Dimension 20, those guys, and Matt Mercer and his crew and all that jazz. And I was like, well, what if I, started playing Dungeons and Dragons and maybe that would help me with my writing. And so I played a game with a buddy of mine online, and we got together a few people and we all played, and that was probably I don't want to say it, but 6 or the number after 6 years ago.
Okay. I mean, that's.
I didn't want to say.
I know. I get it. Nope. I get it. We've got a 12-year-old at home. We get it.
So it's probably been about that amount of time. Maybe even closer to 7 or 8 years that I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, and but I'm not like a rules guy. Like I don't go deep into the rules. I just like the fact that you can build a world and do whatever you want to in it. That's kind of what I like about it.
Oh no, that's pretty much how we play. James is our resident like encyclopedia of all the rules because he's been doing it since he was knee-high to a grasshopper.
Yeah.
Michelle and I have been about a decade now.
Yeah, I would say about a decade.
Yeah, wow. A decade steady. No, it's so we were talking earlier, and I want to hear a little bit more about this. Your table, is it still the same table that you're playing at?
No,
okay.
Almost every game that I've started in has never completed. So like we played that first game, and then everybody's schedule got all wonky. So like we were playing, and it was my first one to ever play in, and we were playing the Ice Giants module from Dungeons and Dragons. So we were it's so funny because we got to the part where our party gets abducted by the floating ice giant castle thing or whatever.
The storm giant. It was the storm giant.
Yeah, the storm giant. But like the party ended up killing the giant because we were like, we don't know you.
Who are you?
So we ended up killing. That checks out. Yeah, so we ended up killing the giant, and that was like the last we played of it. Like that was it. And it was just because everybody's schedule just got really wonky. We couldn't come together. And then the next time I played was actually I actually DM'd my first time. I DM'd a one shot for my birthday party. I don't remember what birthday party it was, but like I was still just now getting into D&D, so I was like, well, let me just DM my own game. And so I did a one shot on my birthday, and I created a whole homebrew set, but I used like the 5e rules and the 5e settings and locations and all that. And then the next game I played, I DM'd for that one too, and it was with my family. But my family got to where they were kind of like, yeah, this isn't really our bag. We really don't like this. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then I started teaching about 4 years ago, and one of my acquaintances that I met, who's now a really good friend of mine, he was like, I love Dungeons and Dragons, and let's get together and let's play a game. And so we started playing. It fizzled out, and so now this table that I'm at now is made up of that same teacher and a couple of other teachers that we know, and we play online just because it's so much more convenient to play online. And so we're like in the middle of this. This is probably our I'm trying to think of, like, we're probably 4 months in now, I think.
Oh, nice.
Or I'm 4 months in because I joined in late. So they're probably like 6 months in, and I'm popping in 4 months into that.
Okay. No, that's great. It is the BBEG of schedule kills a lot of games.
Kills it.
It kills a lot of games.
Well, that's why I started playing Magic too, is because we would take these long breaks because everybody's schedules wouldn't line up, and I was like, I got to have something in my life, and so I picked Magic back up and started playing Magic again.
I mean, it's still WotC, so I mean, you're kind of there.
Yeah. Yeah. With the SpongeBob there. And the TMNT,
Oh yeah, that's it. That's right. Oh shit, that's right. They did bring all that in there. Yeah. That's a whole other issue to talk about.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I usually have 2 other questions to ask, but you kind of already answered them already, which is what really got you into it, and then obviously it's the rules, the rules, but the setting and being able to do these things with these characters.
Yeah.
And then, what made you be a GM? And it sounded like it was just a birthday present for yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like building. I like building the worlds. I also, whenever I GM, I like the puzzles. Like a lot of people like the combat, but I like puzzles.
Ooh.
And I found out that sometimes my puzzles are too hard for people because I just finished GMing. Because I was telling you, during the pre-show that like the table I'm at now, we kind of rotate GMs, and I was GM'd last. Like it's probably been 2 weeks now since I GM'd, and I had this whole like mystery plot going, and those guys, like, I love them to death, and they might be watching now. So, but like those guys were just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
You made this puzzle too hard. I don't know. Just
yeah. And I only have 4 sessions to do it, and so I was like, you stumble across.
See, that's when you have the barbarian just come in and just smash the puzzle to pieces, and there you go. And there, solved.
Well, we have a barbarian, and and there was a point where he started smashing stuff in a room to try to get our what they thought was the BBEG to cooperate, but she like it was a hag, and she was like, and so she was kind of like, I had her where she was like feigning, like, oh no, please don't, dude, please don't smash my things, but she didn't care.
Hey, Michelle, you got any questions so far?
Yeah, actually. So whenever you said that your group, like, y'all like kind of switch it up and everything, like, does each DM like create a new story, or do y'all just go off of one another, or how does that really like work out whenever y'all switch?
Yeah, so it's kind of both, and it's one because I was the last one for our first year kind of together, or our first rotation, I guess, because there's 6 of us, so this is the first rotation. We just finished our first rotation, and they're all connected, but they were all kind of, the way we were coming up with our stuff was just kind of individual stories, but
Okay. Yeah.
a lot of us would just base our stuff off of, because like I wasn't even thinking about a hag for mine, but then my buddy, he was telling me, his story had a hag, then the second GM had a hag, and then that's when I popped in when the third GM was around, and he had a hag, and so I was like, well, that'd be cool just to keep going with this hag theme, and so I created a hag for our stuff, and and now so now our second go around, we actually met, had like a little pre-meeting, like another session 0 almost for the second season, I guess you would call it.
Right.
And we were like, should we have one BBEG that's overarching, or do we want to just keep kind of randomizing what we have? And so we kind of we settled on, we want to have like the big arch enemy is kind of the Fae, but we can still incorporate small villains and things like that within our own settings in our own world. So when I GM, I can come up with a story, but like if I can incorporate the big BBEG, which is the Fae, then that's plus points, I guess.
Yeah, because like for our home game with James, we're playing Shadow Dark, and we play well, like me and Chuck, like we play goblins.
Okay.
Like chaos goblins. And whenever you were talking about switching it up and having like different DMs, I was like, that is like really perfect in a way. Just because like our other friends that are in the game with us, like they love the game, but they're not like confident enough to like DM a game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I think if it's just us, like our home game, then maybe we can build up.
Yeah. Well, we have
confidence.
one of our players. He's still not confident in the game, so he didn't DM. So we actually only ran 5 DMs. And we told him, like, whenever you're ready to DM, you let us know and we'll put you in the rotation. But right now he's just a player. That's all he is. But it
Yeah.
does give us all the opportunity to play too, because whenever we do DM, our characters find a side mission to do. You know, like my character got pissed off at the rest of the group and like went off on his own for a little bit. You know, that's kind of the theme of it, is whenever it's our turn to DM, like our character is like, I don't like you guys, and just walks off.
Right. Yeah. And like, and sometimes in our home games, like there's a big like gap or lull because all of us are like, well, what are we gonna do? Like what's like what's going on? Like even with James, like he always asks us, so what are y'all trying to do? What are y'all trying? So it's like, so in hearing that, like I think that would be really cool if like each of us like wrote like a side piece where it's like a side mission, or it could be a regular mission, to where like we wouldn't just be just twiddling our thumbs waiting for someone to talk.
Yeah, that's one thing. So when I do play, so I play the session we're in now. I play a half dwarf, half orc. And he's always talking, like whenever there is a lull, my character is always like, so what are we doing here? You know,
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And then me and another player, there's another player, he plays a centaur, and his character is the barbarian. I'm a bard, he's a barbarian. And we've both, our characters, we do this in game. Our characters will say, look, you guys take too long to make plans. We just wants to go in and smash things.
Yes, we have a player like that.
And so sometimes you got to have that guy that's just like pushes the group, like, hey, if you don't make a plan fast enough, my character is just going to do whatever he wants to do.
The difference is ours is 12 years old and just wants to hit things.
Oh, well, then that's perfect.
Well, I mean, but even still, like even he tries to get us all on task. Like he's like, what are we doing? Like where are we at?
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because our game isn't, it is so driven by everyone's individual stories and like where we want to go. So we're like on the spot, like, oh shit, I don't know what my character wants to do. I don't know what Mungo Jerry wants to do.
Yeah. We kind of have the same thing. So every story has their own, or every character has their own tragic backstory. And so as DMs, we try to weave it in as much as possible. Usually there is one, every DM kind of wants to mess with a certain player, and so we'll kind of cater our storyline to that one player. Our DM right now, he's the buddy who brought me back into D&D. He's really good at weaving all of our stories into it. I actually started as a player kind of weaving my own story. So like this one, the one that the arc, I'm calling them arcs, the arc that we're in right now really wasn't focused on my character too much, you know, but my character kind of inserts himself. So there's a point where the last arc, or 2 arcs ago, we had this angel that or devil, not angel, this devil that was like offering everybody little things, you know. And so my character, all he wanted was a satchel of it's not the bag of holding, you know, like one of those, but just full of honey hams. That's all he wanted. You know, and so the devil gave him, well, because the devil took us all up, you know, because there was a night hag trying to get us in our dreams. And so we all went, the devil like took us to like his castle in like another dimension or something like that, and he had like these plates of food, and my character had just eaten a honey ham at an inn, and he's like, it was the best thing I ever had in my life, you know. And so he was like, well, if you want a honey ham, here's another honey ham, you know. The devil, like with basically a southern lawyer, was like, if you want another honey ham, here's you another honey ham. And he was like, loved it. So he was like, look, I'll do whatever you wants to if you get me a bag of holding, or get me a bag where I just have nothing but honey hams in there, you know. And so he did. So he did that. And then in this campaign, our GM incorporated, there's a new character that came in, and she brought a statue with this devil on it. And so my character noticed it, and and I talked to the GM, and he said it was just kind of like an Easter egg. It wasn't anything big at all. But I brought that character back into it because I was like, hey, that's that devil man, that gave me all that honey ham. Let's see if we can call him in and get another favor, And so then our DM's kind of like, ugh, like you're throwing a wrench in my plan here, So then he allowed me and the other GM to play it out. So now my character, is a bard, and he's not like your average bard that like plays a lute and everything like that. He's like a war chanter. And his whole thing is like, if you don't remember people's names, then they're lost forever. Like their soul dies and they're dead forever. They're gone. They're gone into oblivion. So as a bard, I have to tell people stories. I have to sing these songs. I have to make sure these names are remembered. And so he's concerned that nobody's going to remember his name. And so his deal with the devil is like, hey, look, I want my name to be remembered, and how can we make that happen? And so right now my character hasn't made that deal yet. But the deal is like, look, I'll give you this little imp, and he'll live on your shoulder. He'll kind of play you up in your own ear, but he'll also go before you into towns and let everybody know who you are and what you've done. But in return, when people ask you about your accolades, you have to mention my name. So that's the rub. So that's the rub. And so my character hasn't taken the deal yet. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Huh. You're famous, brought to you by said devil.
Exactly. And so now it's up to my character. My character's name is Hrothgar. And so it's up to Hrothgar to say, like, is it him that's making me famous, or is it my deeds that's making me famous? And which is more important?
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
The ultimate dilemma.
Sorry, and I'm just talking you guys' ear off.
Dude,
sorry.
This is what you're here for.
No. We love it. We love like hearing stories and just like how everyone else plays, because it actually gives us like ideas, or it's very good for us, or at least for me, because I love it. But,
it is very enlightening, I will say. Since helping host Tavern Talks, I have picked up more tips on how to be a GM that helped me when I started our Power Rangers game.
That's awesome.
So being able to listen in and get like these various tips from people who have been doing this for years, and like, okay, I can already take this tip, I can take that tip. So I take it in. I soak it in like a sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with Power Rangers, like Chuck knows how it feels whenever us players throw that wrench into their
Well, I mean, it is collaborative storytelling. So I mean, the thing is, I think that and I always, whenever I GM, I'll like set the scene, and then I'll stop talking and I'm like, what do you guys want to do? And then I won't say anything until they respond, because it's the players that are the ones that are deciding what they want to do. Yeah. It's their goals, not my goal. Like, yeah, my BBEGs have goals, but like, what the characters do and don't do only affect that BBEG if they start fiddling with their plans, so it's really up to them. And so that's, I've taken that to heart, where it's like, okay, if I want a plot point, or if I want something to happen for my character, then I need to make it happen.
Yeah.
So here's a question though.
Mm-hmm.
What came first though? Was it doing the D&D and then voiceover, or was it the voiceover and then the D&D?
It was D&D and then the voiceover. Because I had because my whole train of thought was writing movies, because I still have like these 7 movies that are in my head, and they're like half written. So I haven't finished them yet. And it's been like 10, 15 years since I wrote these things down. And so I was like, I'm going to play D&D. I'm going to get my writing up. And I did. I was writing a lot more. And then I was trying to get my TikTok presence up, and nothing was really working. And the space I was on TikTok got to where it was kind of toxic. So I was like, I'm just going to go away from that side of TikTok, and and I started doing these voiceover challenges, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago. And so I started doing these TikTok challenges, and then it was 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year. It wasn't last year. It was the year before last December. So what is that? December 2024, when Nosferatu came out. And everybody was doing the Nosferatu challenge where they were like doing the voice of Nosferatu, where he does the, it is a black omen to journey in poor health, and so I was like, I could do that. I just did. But like I could do that. And so I did it on, for some reason I got up to 300 followers, and no. Sorry. I'm putting the cart before the horse. So, I did that challenge, and then I went from like 100 followers to 300 followers. And for some reason, TikTok gave me live access at 300 followers. And so I went live, and I was like, well, I'll talk about screenwriting because I'm writing a movie. And so I was talking about screenwriting, and all the comments were like, hey, was that your real voice doing the Nosferatu thing? And I was like, yeah. And I said, it's the same, sort of the same thing I do when I do orcs, when I'm doing dungeons, when I'm a DM doing Dungeons and Dragons, which is, it's that same kind of throaty now I know what it's called. It's called false chords, where you're, so it's what it is. It's a little bit of my voice mixed in with this throat thing. And so then somebody commented, they were like, you need to do Warhammer orcs. And so I was like, and I had no clue what Warhammer was at all. And so I sat there and I was researching Warhammer, and I was researching all these things, and I fell in love with how stupid they were, just how ridiculous orcs for Warhammer were. They loved cars. They loved going fast. Whatever they thought, whatever they believed actually happens.
Yep.
And they're stupid. And everybody, I love how everybody says they're the only ones having fun in this grim dark universe. And so
I mean that yeah.
And so I wrote a really quick script with the help of ChatGPT. I'm not going to take all credit for it, but I got like an idea from ChatGPT to do like an orc influencer. And so like on live, and I did all this on live the same night, like wrote the script out really quick, read it on live, and then I clipped it and posted it. And that video got 2,000 views like overnight.
Oof.
And I was like, holy crap, like I'm going viral,
Yeah.
And I went from like 300 followers to like 1,000 to 1,200. And then I doubled down on it. I was like, well, let me see if I do like another orc video. So my wife was like, you should do like an orc telling bedtime stories. Well, I only know Hume bedtime stories. And so I did like Little Miss Muffet. And I was like, Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet. What the zog is a tuffet? I did all that stuff. And that got a couple thousand views, and then I got more followers. So I was like up to 2,000 or 3,000 followers at this point. And so I just doubled. So then I just doubled down on it. I just kept doing orc voices. And I watched a video with Chris Tester. I don't know if you know who that is. I watched the video with Chris Tester. He did the Gazgul speech. So I did the Gazgul speech, wondering if I could do it. I was like, I'll do the Gazgul speech, and just kept going from there. And then from the Gazgul speech, I thought of, well, what if there's another orc that his whole deal is he's like, well, if Gazgul is rallying up the boys, I want to rally up the boys too, And that's his whole thing is like, I'm trying to motivate the boys to make sure there's the orkiest orcs that there's ever was. And so that's where WAAAGHFIRMASHUNZ started.
Absolutely wonderful. I did just such humble beginnings.
Humble beginning, and it really was. Like I'd never expected to be in the position I'm at right now. Which, from this, I've had other voiceover gigs and stuff like that, and it's just been a ride. It's been a ride, and hopefully it just keeps going up.
Yeah, no. I'll have to pick your brain on that one. I'm in the struggle bus right now.
Yeah.
No, that's great. You know what? It's about the halfway mark.
Already?
I talk so much.
It's okay.
Oh no. We love it.
It's that halfway mark. We now have our dragon entering the area. It's time to talk about monsters. So Matt.
Yeah.
Tell us about your monster.
So my favorite monsters, I sent you guys. I really had to rack my brain because I don't, like I was telling you, at the beginning of the show, or at the pre-show, that like I don't really know a whole lot of monsters. Like again, I haven't familiarized myself with all of the lore and all of the rules, because I do have like my Dungeon Master's Guide and my monster manual like right next to me, so I just pull from it from there. But the monster that I go back to all the time is will-o-wisps. They don't have a high AC. They're not, very they're not too dangerous, I guess, even though they can't take any physical damage. But what I like about them is if they get they're a nice haunting presence for whatever haunted campaign you have, and I love doing haunted campaigns. Like if I can do like a creepy castle, a creepy cottage, the last the last arc I GM'd, wherever the hag was, like she had these will-o-wisps that would float around her cottage, and the whole reason was because it was kind of on theme, where in my arc the players were trapped in this fog, and every time they would die, or every time, even when they killed the hag and then they went to sleep, and whenever and it resets, so it was like a Groundhog's Day. And so the rule that I had, and they really didn't they figured it out faster than the rule could go into effect too much, but the rule I had was every time they rebooted, they would take levels of exhaustion, but then also they lost what I called potential points, and so they would lose abilities every time they would reset. So like, and the only way they could get out was to change their class. There was another way. They found out the other way, so they didn't have to change their classes, but that was the kind of the point. And so will-o-wisps fit right in there, because will-o-wisps whole things where they were draining, they drain life,
Right.
so it's like you'll get these levels of exhaustion and like that. So I incorporated them with it too. So if they got too close to the will-o-wisps, it would drain their potential and also their, put levels of exhaustion on them. But will-o-wisps are just a nice way to make a haunted place feel creepier, because you just have these balls of light that are just floating around, and if you get too close, then you'll feel exhausted, or you'll feel this sense of dread and everything like that. They're nice little, they're nice seasoning, and that's the monsters I like. I like monsters that are driven by your story, and I also like monsters that give you just a little spice, just a little bit of that peppering, just
a will-o-wisp isn't necessarily your next like big bad, but it definitely it ratchets up the the threat a little bit.
Yeah, and it also adds some whimsy, because they look like little fireflies and stuff like that. So but it's still creepy, it's still haunting.
No, for sure. Michelle, what do you think?
Yeah. I kind of like those, like, I don't know, it's also good.
So the two of us, we absolutely love anything that's kind of horror, goes bump in the night kind of things.
Yeah.
It's just, that's kind of our jam. It's not so much our home group's jam, but it's certainly ours.
Yeah. Well, I know when I was wanting to GM, I was wanting to do like a horror thing, and I wanted to do more cosmic horror, because I like the thing that makes you feel like life has no meaning to it, or lets you know how small you really are in a big universe. That's what I like.
Keep talking to me.
Yeah, and
Yes.
so I didn't want to do, because the thing is, they said that they already fought like a horde of zombies, which I'm not. Like, I'm kind of zombied out, guys. I'm done with, like, zombies are just old news. Same with vampires. It's like vampires are cool. I've never been to Ravenloft, but like, I could wait for a little bit for Ravenloft. But I just like that. I like the existentialness. Like, I think that will-o-wisps are great because they're the souls of the disembodied, like, or they're disembodied spirits. That's what they are. They're people that have died, and they're trying to come back, and they're trying to suck your energy so that they can.
Oh yeah.
And so that's just, that's a whole nother level. It's not just zombies, like these undead that are hard to kill. It's these people that have died, and they're just haunting these grounds.
Right. Or
Like, it, like, leaves you feeling, like, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
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 It's not only that, but you can also have them tie into your big bad as like, oh yeah, the big bad controls the wisp, or like they're drawn to the wisp, or the wisp are drawn to the big bad. So no matter how close you get, it's always going to be a wisp around you. Always got to be on your toes.
Yeah.
Because it's not the big thing that's going to get you.
Yeah, and it's the big and the wisp of the small things that can drain you just enough where you lose against
exactly. Yeah, like, oh, it's just a wisp, whatever. Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, now you have one point of exhaustion, and you have disadvantage on all of your rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So you've kind of already talked about how you use them. Like, you like to use them for just a little bit of splash of flavor. Is there one particular instance that you absolutely loved using them in?
I mean, I used them in a campaign that I did a while back where I was doing I kind of mixed Ice Spire Peak and the Road to Phandalin or something, or Phandelver, mine's Phandelver. I mixed them both, and then I gave them a whole new BBEG. Like the Ice Dragon was one of the BBEGs, and then there was this other BBEG that I homebrewed and everything like that. And they did go into like this haunted. There's a part in the Ice Spire Peak where they go into like this haunted dwarf castle, and I like using will-o-wisp in that. Anywhere that's haunted, will-o-wisp, just throw them in there.
It fits. It makes sense. They fit there.
Yeah.
People just probably, again, they don't think about it, but they are so simple yet so effective.
Yep. And I think that they're easy to, because I mean, some monsters in D&D are hard to explain. Like I used I was saying a bullet, but it's a bullet or whatever, however you pronounce it. I used that in it was like the last session of my campaign. I had them all fight. Like I had them where they were done with the BBEG, they were done with the witch, they were done with the fog, and so they were sailing. It was kind of like a prologue, or epilogue, where they were sailing off to the distance, and they go to this. They meet Rothgar. They met Rothgar back at this Colosseum island, and so one of the things they had to do was fight this bullet or however you pronounce it, and those things, I think, if you're not familiar with them, are hard to explain. It's like, well, it's kind of like a tremor, tremors with like a beetle that pops out of the ground, and it's like an armadillo.
What's a tremor?
Yeah, so it's hard to explain. But where a will-o-wisp, you can be like, it's a ball of light that's a disembodied spirit. I think everybody can connect to it. It's pretty easy to explain.
Yeah, because I think most cultures have some version of a will-o-wisp.
Yeah.
A lot. I don't think any culture has a version of a bullet.
No. Yeah. Well, however you pronounce it.
Yeah. The tremor with 4 legs. I will refer to it from that as
that's what it is, man. Yeah. I even had one of the NPCs that they were in the Colosseum with was like get off the ground, and so everybody did the whole tremors thing where everybody's trying to climb up on these spires and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry.
No, you're cool. I actually was gonna get some drink, but
I had a cough. Ugh. Oh man. Shit. I wish I had more to ask about a will-o-wisp, but there's only so much you can.
There's only so much you can talk about will-o-wisp. I mean, again, that's why I like them. They're simplistic. They add a little bit of spice to your thing, and they're unassuming.
So, now, I guess one thing we can kind of explore in this is how can we make them more of a threat than they are, while still keeping the whimsy.
I think if you were just to mess with the rules a little bit, where like they can't even be, maybe the only damage they can take is radiant damage, and that's it. And then so if you don't have a cleric or a paladin in your thing, then you're kind of screwed.
Oh yeah.
And one thing I did with my will-o-wisps is every time they would reset, there was more will-o-wisps.
Okay.
Yeah. Then if you so you can kind of make it where maybe when they start off in one location, there's like 1 or 2 will-o-wisps. Then you can up the ante with like there's just multiple. So then it turns into like the Finding Nemo, where they have to go through the thing of the jellyfish It's the same concept. Where if they bump into
Yeah.
those will-o-wisps, they just lose that much more. They take levels of exhaustion, for every because I think it's like 5 feet, and and you can make a timer out of it. It's like, okay, we're starting this timer, and every round you take, a level of exhaustion or whatever and make death. I think that's one thing is make death actually like, we just changed our ruling on how we do death, how we deal with death in our campaign, which is now, and I saw this on Instagram. I don't remember the account. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but there was a rule where when you die and you start rolling for your saving throws, you don't get your saving throws back. So like if you die and let's say you roll a saving throw and you have 2 more left, the next time you die you only have 2 saving throws. So then if you die again, you roll a saving throw, you make it, you only have 1 saving throw left the next time you die.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I think I'd heard something similar where it was if you failed it, if the number of fails stick with you.
I think we did did whether you fail or not. So like let's say you failed your first one, you got your second one, you only have 1 saving throw left after that last one.
Okay. Yeah, I know we've been dealing a lot with Shadow Dark, and Shadow Dark death is
brutal.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Because when you go down, you have a number of rounds to be resurrected, and it's a D4 plus your Constitution modifier. You're not the only roll that can save you and bring you back is either someone healing you or rolling a natural 20 between the time that your rounds.
Oh wow!
So your round you can have as little as 2 rounds to roll for that.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah.
Now maybe a month ago, we had a player. Her character had gotten bitten by a poisonous snake.
Oh man,
a venomous snake. And in Shadow Dark, the if you fail the Constitution saving throw for the poison or the venom, you get 1 round, and then you're down. You're dead.
Oh,
your character's
man.
dead. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah. Well, I think things like that, like upping the stakes with death, I think that's has a lot to do with it. So like,
oh yeah,
death means more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw a comment on our chat that I think would be something to talk about, because they asked, how about a wisp that enters the body of a character like a parasite?
Almost like a possession.
Yeah. I feel like there's already monsters that do that, aren't there?
Yeah, there are specters that can kind of possess you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too, is taking those concepts and combining them.
Well, because even earlier in the chat thread, I noticed someone had made reference to the wisps in Fable.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if you entered the cemetery in Fable or any of the grave areas or the dark areas, the wisp would like come around and float around and then raise the undead and inhabit the undead. So it's kind of a similar idea there.
Yeah. And that's what I like about Will-O-Wisp, and that's the thing I like about D&D too, is you don't have to stick with the way that they work in the book. You can make them work differently. Like Will-O-Wisps aren't supposed to be able to fly around. They don't have movement. They just float in the book. But I had mine move around, where like they started following the group, and everything like that.
Yeah.
Ooh. I just noticed, and I'm horrible about this, but we got raided by 11 people a little while ago from Forge of Lore, and I'm sorry. But thanks for showing up. I'm horrible.
Thanks for the raid.
Yeah, really. If you haven't noticed by now, we're talking with Matthew Glover, the wonderful mind behind WAAAGHFIRMASHUNZ.
Yeah. WAAAGHFIRMASHUNZ. Say it.
WAAAGHFIRMASHUNZ.
Say it right, buddy.
Sorry. I meant I'm not worthy. And right now we're talking about his favorite monster being the Will-O-Wisp. And it's just finding all sorts of little little things to do. How
Little
can we
tweaks.
tweak them? How can we make it better?
Little tweaks.
And I think we're coming up with some interesting things that people can take away with it.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's making it radiant only damage or, you know, some other thing, or just like that multiple timer iteration of like, well, here's 2. Well, a couple minutes go by. Here's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Here's 8.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Or even like let's say somebody does do radiant damage, but they could be like a Hydra where like you when you slice them in half, there's 2 of them now, and then you're like, oh
Right.
crap, you know.
Oh, then
Yeah.
Yeah, then
Then
your
you're splitting
paladin is
skulls.
trying to smite a bunch of will-o-wisp, and he's just doubling them every time he hits them.
That's a whole other conundrum, because then you're splitting a soul in half.
Yeah.
Oh,
But would you say the same thing about like a Hydra?
That's a good question. That's a philosophical.
Yeah, philosophical.
There you go. Philosophizing over here on Tavern Talks with, you know, take one head from a Hydra and it becomes 2. Is it the same Hydra?
Yeah. How do they exist in the same plane if they're the same person, the same being?
Yeah.
That's a whole other issue.
That's a whole other issue.
That's a different monster for a different discussion. Let's talk about the wisps. Make my brain hurt less, please, baby.
What are some other monsters that people have named? Because I feel like mine was so, you know, benign.
You know what? I'm horrible because my Wednesdays have been so busy. I haven't paid attention.
Oh no!
I know, I'm horrible. Oh, shame on me. Shame. I think one of them was one of them was a hag.
Okay.
The hag was really fun because of how versatile you can have the hag, and you know, it can go into many different settings and many different areas, and she can always. Hags are one of those monsters that have personality with them.
Yeah.
Like they're evil.
And it can also just like switch like in an instant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they got this evil benevolence with them, and it's just as long as you don't piss them off, you're okay.
Yeah. My hag that I had, I kind of modeled her after Meg Mucklebones from Legend. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Legend.
Mm-hmm. Tim Curry.
So so I her personality I did off of Meg Mucklebones, but she did walk around. She had her own house. The house that I had them go into was also, the house would change. So like if they went into a room and they walked through the door, like it wouldn't be like, hey, if we go back through this door, it's going to take us to the hallway. It's like, no, it could take you to wherever. You know, wherever I roll.
Yeah.
is where you're going, buddy.
Wow.
I did change that mechanic where like there was like a set of keys that if they found the keys, then when they unlocked the door, it would take them to specific rooms, whatever key they would find. And so they would have to put those 2 and 2 together. It's like, hey, where did this key go? You know, they would have to remember that, you know, that kind of stuff. But I liked that. I liked that whole thing but it was all about, the story I was telling is all about like, can your character remain themselves if they had to change who they were fundamentally, like class wise. So like, would your character still be the character if like your cleric had to become, you know, like there was a mirror that they looked into, and our cleric, she was beautiful, but throughout her battles have gotten a lot of scars on her, and the hag actually scratched her face, and so now she had these things all on her face, and when she looked in the mirror, the things were gone, but there was a demon behind her that was like, you know, I can take it all away for you, you know. So she would have to change her class from a cleric to a warlock if she wanted to one escape the fog, and then 2 you know, if she wanted those wounds healed, you know, she could have them healed now. She would just have to, you know, renounce her god and become a warlock.
Oh, I know Michelle's answer for that.
What?
What'd you say on Power Daddies?
Yes, Daddy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you said. That's
But yes.
no, that's an interesting thing. Just kind of looking like, oh yeah, you want to change it up? I like that.
Damn. Yeah, and I wanted to have consequences. Like that was my whole thing too. Is I wanted to have real consequences to the game that would affect the game. It's like,
Mhm.
so if you guys want to escape here, you have to change your classes. But then also I wanted to make sure they had a choice. Like if they didn't want to change their class, there was an escape plan that they could choose, but they would have to release like an archlich, you know, which that's the route that they chose.
I mean,
But at the same time, like I like that because it gives the game and just like the way to play, like it deepens it so much more to where like, oh, okay, we really need to think about this, or
Yeah.
something serious will happen. So do we want to go with that, or do we
Yeah.
like it gives it much more like weight.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. But it was
Yeah.
hard to jam into, like, because I did it in 3 sessions. It was hard to jam in there in 3 sessions.
Yeah, but the fact that you were able to do that just speaks to your skills as being able to write it and lead the game. Because
Mhm.
our table at home, you have a plan, fuck it, it's done, it's gone in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Even Power Daddies, whenever we're playing, I have a plan, and then 5 minutes in, it's gone.
Well, the thing I mean, one thing I did do, and it's kind of railroady, but I did the way I look at sandboxes is sandboxes still have edges. So, so like
Mhm.
you got to play within my sandbox that I'm building. So you can do whatever you want to within my sandbox.
Right.
And so like that's what the fog was. The fog was the sandbox. Is like you can't just leave town and just go on a different mission. If you want to
Yeah.
get out of this fog, you have to do this mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I like that. That's the kind of philosophy that I have for my game is as the GM, I've made a sandbox. I've given you toys to play with. I just make sure you don't break it
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah.
You can break it a little bit. You can frustrate me. You can use things that I don't expect in ways that I don't expect you to do.
Yeah.
As long as you just like kind of stay within the sandbox, that's all right. All good.
Yeah.
You're having fun. I'm good.
Exactly.
So, and my players know that, and they definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because we've got one player who does improv like on a regular basis, and he fucks with me.
But we love him so.
I mean, he's great.
Oh my
I love
gosh,
him.
Yeah,
But
I'm that player for my group, which is like I'll throw a wrench in whatever. Because there was this one it was the first arc that I was in. They were in this city that we had to break into a separate side of the city, which was all a jail. Like the whole city was a prison, so we had to break into the prison, and so we were trying to figure out how to disguise the centaur, because centaurs weren't like common in that area. So like my character was like, hey, we grab this burlap sack and we make it look like a horse head and we put it on top of you, and his character was like, no, you're not gonna do that. And so I was like, and so I looked at our DM and I was like, I want to mount the centaur.
That would be something I would
do. So we had to
I
roll
mean-
opposing stuff, and it was a very fun time. And the thing is also like I purposely told the DM, I was like, this is probably the worst looking. This is like any normal human being, you would know this isn't a horse. And so we would roll deception. We were rolling so good that it was like the guards didn't even notice that it was a burlap sack.
Fucking kobolds in a trench coat.
I did do that in a campaign. I was a gnome in one campaign, and me and the goblin did the trench coat trick, and it worked.
Oh, I mean, at our last session, we were, what were we against
What in what?
in our home game?
Against the bird, the
Yes.
giant bird that we made on the fly.
Yes.
I kid you not. We literally, James made this monster on the fly, just like rolling on the table. Like we didn't have a name for it, and then we had like 2 names for it, and it was a big bird.
But like with my character,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean this goes to with every character that I've ever played, is just whenever I see an animal, I'm like, I want to be its friend.
Oh yeah. Do you have animal?
So,
animal
like-
handling, like is your big thing?
Yeah, and like James, he was like, so what are you going to do, or what is my character going to do? And one of the other players were like, you're probably going to befriend it, right?
Oh,
And Chuck looked at me and was like, no, she wouldn't do that with something that's attacking us. And I was like, that would be exactly what I would do. So I climbed on its
oh no!
head.
Hold on. You're missing one vital part of that.
What?
What was the situation in particular at that very moment when it was your turn?
Oh, it swallowed Chuck's character. So he was inside of
I was inside its gullet because it was almost like I think we called it almost like a pelican kind of
Oh yeah,
neck,
yeah.
and I was inside of it with 1 health left. And it came to Michelle's turn, who was right before me, and it was like, "What are you gonna do?" And everyone's like, "She wouldn't do that." And sure as shit, she jumps on the back of it and tries to sweet talk the damn thing.
But I mean, but like realistically, like it'd be something I would do.
Yeah.
So I would be like, so I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw a wrench and I'm just gonna climb.
And she tried.
So, yeah, I tried.
Fortunately, I rolled a nat 20 to get out of it, but you know,
I
was
killing it in the process.
Sure did.
But
okay, well, it is the 1 hour mark here, give or take a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Whatever. So we're entering now what we could refer to as happy hour. So in happy hour, this is the time that we go back and see all of the questions in the chat.
Oh boy.
I know there's a couple of good ones in here. Some of them I think you've touched on in a variety of ways, but we can ask it, and if it's something that you touched on, we can kind of just briefly refresh.
Okay.
Not a big deal. First one that I've got back, because I had to scroll all the way back up this fucking chat.
I know there's a lot. I was like, whoa.
I know, right? Let's see. So we got one from Oracle of the East. How did you get the idea to do inspirational orc videos?
Yeah, really, we kind of went over that earlier, which is
Chat GPT.
Yeah, well, the Chat GPT was part of it, but it was just the idea of Gazgul. It's right after I did the Gazgul speech, and then I was like, what if there was another orc that was kind of this motivational orc, And so I just started. It was a joke at first. Like I did a couple videos as a joke, but then I actually had people like comment on all my videos that were like, hey man, I had a guy who said it helped him with his PTSD.
Oh wow.
I've had people tell me that like they were thinking about unaliving themselves, and but then they came across my WAAAGHFIRMASHUNZ and it gave them I just need to get back into the fight, and crump life, and so I get those messages all the time where people are just like, hey, this brought me out of a slump, this brought me out of depression. I have a guy who him and his kid watch it together, and so him and his kid will go around the house yelling "wah," and so I get this all the time, and so I just that's what really makes me stick with WAAAGHFIRMASHUNZ is just that.
That's great.
Just that community.
No, that's absolutely fucking fantastic. The fact that you're able to do that and get those kind of responses, that just puts the cherry on top of it, making it all worthwhile, right? Let's see, we got another one. ZTB and Digits. That's probably I think it's one of your friends, Matt.
Oh yeah. That's actually my brother.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
See, better than a friend. Do you have anything coming in the future, voice actor wise?
Yeah. So I know that I have a buddy of mine in here. Where is he at? Reeve Shot. Me and him are actually part of. There's a Helldivers anthology that this guy is producing, and I just joined in, so I'm trying to remember the name of it. Plot Coalition. So if you go on YouTube and look at Plot Coalition, there are episode 3 is going to be releasing this coming Friday. And I voice Jack Viper, who's like the first Viper Commando for Helldivers. Yeah, and so that's gonna be released out soon. That's a great series. So just if you go watch them all. Plot Coalition on YouTube. I have a couple of audiobooks that are going to be released that I just do little parts for. I don't do the whole audiobook, but I just do little parts for them. I can't talk about them because I signed an NDA. But one that I can talk about is they're releasing its the Tales of William O. I can't remember the full name of it. I just posted a video on my stories, but it's from Sound Booth Theater. So if you're not familiar with Sound Booth Theater is the company that did the audiobook for Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Okay.
And so I just do like a little blurb, like at the beginning of it, like, oh, William O, oh yeah, I've heard of William O, and so I did this. I did like a part of that little part with them. That was cool to do. Probably my biggest client that I have that I've done that I just recorded some stuff for is Sir Henry's Haunted Trail in Plant City, Florida. It's a haunted attraction. They're actually number USA Today said they're number 2 ranked in the nation.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so they're great. It's a little haunted theme park. They do like 3 or 4 trails every year, every Halloween season. They do a Christmas haunted trail. They do a Valentine's haunted trail, and they did a barbecue for the summer too, like a ghost town barbecue. But I just finished recording some stuff for their new Halloween season, so I'm excited about that. That's Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. For those of you who don't know that, I'm always doing WAAAGHFIRMASHUNZ, and I'm actually trying to. My goal for this year is to try to make voice acting like more of a career for me,
right.
so that I won't have to teach anymore. That's the goal. Not that I don't love the kids, but just teaching is a lot. Yeah, we get the summers off, but like it's like during the year, it's heavy. It's pressure, a lot of pressure. And I love doing voice acting, and so if I could do voice acting for the rest of my life, I would love to do that. And so one thing I would like to do is I would like to start a long form podcast that I would call WA Radio. I did a couple of skits where I did WA Radio, where it's like Krunkface and he's like, hey, we're going out for the boys, and everything like that. But I did do a couple of interviews. Then I have them ready. I just got to post them. But I want to do like a long form podcast called WA Radio, and I would like to get some sponsorship for that. And about that, I have a Patreon to help fund that. And about that, it's not to where it needs to be, to where I can devote time to it right now. But that's one of my thing that I'm trying to get to too. And a lot of other little projects that are coming in. But I'm excited. A couple things that came in I can't talk about because I signed NDAs.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, don't want to break those NDAs.
No,
not at all.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Here's another one. Funny enough, from Reeve Shot.
Okay.
Do you have any kind of dream character that you'd like to voice someday? It doesn't have to be a named or known character, but like this concept is like on the top of my bucket list.
If Disney theme parks called me and they're like, hey, we have a ride and we just want you to be the guy that tells everybody to sit down and follow these rules, I would love that. I love one of my favorite rides is Big Thunder Mountain, at Disney World. And I love the, this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness. I love those types of voices. My wife, it's one of the voices that I do it so often. My wife hates it. She's like, you are so annoying with that voice, but it's because I'm purposely annoying with it. I'm like, yeah, I do that kind of stuff. She hates it. She hates it and loves it at the same time. But one of those voices, or even like I love the Haunted Mansion, and like I have the whole beginning opening script memorized for the Haunted Mansion. So like if Disney were to call me, or if any theme park, that's why I love doing stuff for Sir Henry's, is because it's me kind of fulfilling on a smaller scale my big theme park dreams. That's what I would, if I was to do that would be my dream thing. But I would also, if I could just put this out in the ether, if Games Workshop, or because Amazon MGM Studios and Henry Cavill, they're producing this Warhammer show, and if I can just be one orc that says "wah," and like, let's crump 'em, boys, or something like that, I would love that.
Let's put that out in the ether. You hear that?
Put that out in the ether. Yes.
There you go. I'm with it. Just start tagging Henry Cavill in everything you do.
Well, you can't tag him in anything because he has it tagged off. So I just say hashtags.
Damn.
I hashtag Henry Cavill and everything, and I'm hoping that he can see. Now I have had people tell me that like that people that work at Games Workshop know who I am.
Oh,
and I'm like, well, then why haven't they hired me yet?
Yeah, you hear that, Amazon? You hear that? Hire the man. Hire him. Do it. He's here for you. You have the orc right here.
Right here.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. I think that was all the questions. I scrolled through the chat. I don't find any more. If anyone in the audience has any more questions, I'm going to go and put them here. I'm going to go find our wonderful table. Do you happen to have a D20 on you?
I do. Hold on. I do.
Yay.
I know I have one here. I mean, I do have my like bag of but I have the D20s that I have the dice that glow. Ah, here it is.
Okay. There is somewhere. Michelle, ask question. I'm going to search. I got to search things.
Okay.
There. Yep. Oh man.
Oh, well, I do have a
Yes.
question. So I know in the pre-show that we kind of talked a little bit about how me and you both have that in common, where we work with middle schoolers and things like that. So, and at our middle school, we also do clubs as well. And I actually thought about doing that for the kids, but I didn't know like how they would
Like respond
react to it, or yeah. So how did you come up with that idea, and how did it like, do your students really like it?
So
like,
I love Magic. Like I love the game of Magic. I'm terrible at Magic, but I love playing the game Magic the Gathering. And so it really was just kind of like I want more people to play with, and I think that I saw online there's this organization called magickids.org. And their whole goal is to teach children how to play Magic the Gathering, so that so the game doesn't die out. And so what you can do is you can contact them and say, hey, I'm starting a club. There's going to be about this many members in it. I need some stuff, and they'll send you a box of cards. They'll send you sleeves. They'll send you the things you put your cards in, the boxes, and deck boxes and things like that. They'll send you all that stuff. And so I did. So I asked my principal. I said, hey, and the way I pitched it is like, hey, there's this organization called Magic Kids. They're going to donate all this stuff. It's going to be free. I just want to do an after school interest club, to play Magic the Gathering. And I pitched, Magic the Gathering is a game that's like Pokemon and Dungeons and Dragons mixed together. It's very fantasy, but it incorporates math, reading comprehension, and strategy. Like kids have to use that stuff. And so our school needs help with math and with reading comprehension. And so they were like, oh, it helps out with those things. And yeah, like we can try it and see how it goes. They had nothing to lose because it didn't cost them any money. Kids would just be there after school. They would just need, and there was already like admin staying after school. So like we had that second piece of like, I'm a chaperone, but then there's also, an admin that was chaperoning too. So it was like there was no controversy either, and like parents actually loved the idea. They were like, I played Magic when I was a kid, so yeah, I'd love my kid to do Magic Club. And so that's how I went about doing that, and the kids loved it. The kids loved, and there was kids who had trouble reading. They would, or doing math. They would do math like, but now they're like, well, my the card says that I have this and this, and this is what's going to happen, so this is what's blah blah blah, this is what's going to, they'll explain to you everything that their card does and how it works with the other cards that they have on their board, and they'll sit there and go, and you're going to take 37 points of damage. Like they just do it really fast now. When they first
Yeah.
started, they had a lot of trouble with it, but now it's like they're geniuses because of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, perfect, because in the meantime, we had one question in the chat, and then I found the happy hour questions. But first, we have Shadow Dow, who asks a question for View. What is the TTRPG trope that you love, and what is one that you strongly dislike?
I guess I have to ask, like, what do you mean by trope? Like, what do you think that means?
Yeah, Shadow, what's a trope? What do you have in mind, Shadow?
I'm like, I feel like I haven't been playing long enough to have a trope. I get, you know what? I guess the one that I like it, and I like it and I hate it at the same time. But that bards are horny, and that they're just trying the horny bard trope. That's because the thing is like I get it, but like my bard that I'm playing, he's a war chanter, so his thing isn't like I'm trying to seduce the ladies. No, his thing is like I'm trying to rally. He's basically Krunkface, but just a dwarf, you know.
Right.
But he's like I'm trying to rally up the heroes of the world. You know, and so that's his charisma. His charisma is all about I got to rally these people up, and I have to make them remember heroes. And if they, you know, remember heroes and also desire to be heroes themselves, you know, that's his whole thing. You know, and so that's what he uses his charisma for. And I think a lot of people, the trope is that, well, I have so much charisma, I can seduce anybody. You know,
right?
And there was
the original use of a bard is to spread the lore of the heroes, you know, that were adventuring around.
Yeah, and so that's what my bard is. That's what he does. And there's actually this funny story that so we had a pirate during the campaign, and that character went away, but he got replaced with a different character, same player, but he didn't want to play the pirate anymore. But his character actually seduced this magic shop or this potions shopkeeper or something like that, and seduced her, and she gave him like free stuff. So then Rothgar went in there, and he was expecting free stuff too. He's like, "Hey, you can just help my friend out there. You know, can I get something for free too?" And she was like, "No, I don't think so." And I'm like, "Come on, you just gave him some free stuff, you know." So he was very like he never used his charisma. And I did do some charisma rolls, and I failed him, you know, on that thing. But it was very funny, and it was very much like his character isn't there to seduce women. His character is there to inspire heroes. That's what his whole thing is.
No, that's perfect. That's definitely a double-edged sword there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can take it. Yeah, and Shadow pointed out, you know, the all heroes have dead parents, and warlocks having daddy issues or being brats.
Yeah,
so.
we have a warlock on our thing, and his whole thing is he's just a straight warlock. He's like, I want more power. And so that's why he's a warlock.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, get your D20 out.
All right, D20, got it.
You roll.
I'm rolling.
You're rolling.
Okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Nat 1.
No, that's fine. This is actually a really fun question to talk about.
Okay.
So as a DM, have you ever made a ruling in a game that you later regretted, and were there any consequences?
I don't think I've DM'd enough to have regrets on anything. I will say that I do fudge numbers sometimes. Like if something doesn't go the way that I want it to, like I'm like, yeah, I rolled a 10, yeah, or something like that.
Right.
But I haven't had anything that I regretted. I don't.
Yet.
Yet. I haven't had anything that I regretted yet. But also too, I give a lot of agency to the players. So it's kind of like if anything happens that anybody should regret, it's the players that should regret their decisions, not me. You know, because they're the ones driving the story. I'm just here facilitating it.
Yep, it's all their fault. It's not your fault. I didn't do this. You did it.
Exactly.
But I think we're all kind of, at least as a GM, I think we're all guilty of, on occasion, fudging a roll or two.
Yeah, I try not to do it too much. I really only do it like if they don't make this roll, a huge plot point will be missed. That's the, and then I have seen it. I'm probably going to change the way I do that kind of stuff, because I was watching a Dungeons and Dragons or a GM video on Instagram, and they were talking about how if the thing that if this thing that you have as a role is so important that if they miss this role, the whole story is going to derail, then just give it to them.
Right. I know exactly the thing you're talking about. I think I've seen that exact thing. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
if it's that important, don't roll for it.
Yeah. And now I could,
You shouldn't hide
and
it.
another thing too is like maybe I can direct their vision to it, and not just point it out and say, hey, you notice a piece of paper, and the piece of paper says that you have to do these 3 steps in order to do the thing. It doesn't have to be that. It's just like, hey, roll an insight check, and just to make them feel like they're doing something. And then when they roll an insight check, just be like, you notice a piece of paper, or something like that.
Right.
I almost do that. I almost do my insight checks like that. It's like you really can't fail in. That's one thing I do is with my rolls, you can't fail them. It's just how much success are you actually going to have with it. Like maybe a nat 1 is just you notice like let's say there's a note hidden in the ground, right? A nat 1, it's like there's you trip on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
And then if they want to know, well, why did I trip? Then you'd be like, well, there's a little mound of dirt there. But then a nat 20 would be like, hey, look, there's a mound of dirt that has obviously been tampered with. It's obviously fresh. Like that's like that would be kind of, it's like the levels of success that you would have.
Right. Okay. Well, give me another roll.
Okay.
I have 20 questions.
I put it away.
You put it away.
Oh man, sorry.
Oh man. At least give me one more.
Okay.
We got time for
15,
one more good question.
15.
I think you've already touched on this one. How do you deal with death and lethality at your table?
Yeah, we talked about that a lot. Yeah.
So we did, but there's also, I think, another avenue to approach with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about how you handle death saves.
Mm-hmm.
But what about overall lethality? Because not every player is okay with the varying levels of lethality, right?
Okay, yeah.
And how combat can happen. So how do you handle that if you were to interact?
I'm gonna be honest. It's like if you can't handle your character dying, you don't need to be playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah,
there you go.
If you can't handle your character, because like the thing is, I have a backup character. If Hrothgar dies, I have a backup character.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the inevitability of Dungeons and Dragons. If your death isn't permanent, then what's the danger, or what's the escalation of it?
Yeah, no, that is definitely a hot take, and I respect it.
Yeah. Now there was an interesting concept I did hear about, which is like let's say you TPK a party,
Mm-hmm.
What you could do is have it where that party, like the next session is the afterlife, and they could traverse the afterlife to regain their life back. That's a cool concept.
Yeah, and I know some people, when they handle, like if a player can't handle their character dying, they kind of force them into retirement.
Nah, your character's dead. Your character's dead, dude. So I had this I introduced one of my backup characters in the arc that I finished in the Colosseum, and his name was Belden. He was a cleric of Umberly,
Mm-hmm.
and he was one of my backup characters. And so I was doing like a soft launch of him, so that if he died, so if my character died, then he would just show up and he would join the party, at whatever point
Mm-hmm.
they're in. But the barbarian took the he hate. Like the barbarian is all about like nature and destruction, but he hates fighting for sport. And so he hated the whole Colosseum thing. And so he raged out, and he literally he rolled so good that I was like, there's no way that this character would survive this. So I had it where I was like, how do you kill him, man? And he goes, I take my hoof and I smash his head in, and it goes all over the place. And dude, I was like, bro, you just killed this character. I didn't tell him that. If he's watching, then now he knows, But I did have Hrothgar, because Hrothgar knew the character because they went off on an adventure together while the party was in the during the hag thing, you know. And so I did have Hrothgar was making a huge deal about it, like, you're a murderer, you're just a murderer, you're just a cold-blooded murderer, you know. And as an orc, he's like, look, I'm okay with killing and murdering people, you know, but that was my friend. You didn't even consider my feelings about it. You just killed that bloke, you know. And so he's having a hard time with it and everything.
That's great. Okay, no, I like it. I can respect the stance.
Yeah, if
I really can.
If you can't handle your character dying, don't play Dungeons and Dragons. Play something different. Play something different.
Okay, yeah. All right. So with that, I'm gonna let that be our final question. However, an idea just kind of popped in my head.
Go for it, man. I didn't know how long this was going to be, so I kind of got the rest of the night, man.
I'm gonna put you on the spot for a minute.
Go for it.
Can you, as kind of a wrap up before we, do all of the final announcements, do you think you can give us a WAAAGHFIRMATION?
Yeah, man. The thing is this mic here, like, I can't pitch I do pitch my voice down. I do a pitch shift on my
That's
voice. But I mean, I could do one. Let me pull up a script real quick, because I don't do them off the fly. Like, I write them down. Like, I'm not.
Oh no, that's totally fair.
I'm not a memorization person.
Not a little improv.
No, I for some reason I can't improv.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
And I know that's putting you on the spot, but
no, you're cool, man. You're cool. I had other people do it too. All right. So here we go. You can't tell him know what's good for him, what he should be fighting for. Them Beaky scream out, "For the Emperor!" They fought for him. The fishheads say, "For the great and good," so that everybody that's left is living all la-dee-da. Them Sparky gets only fought because their God tells them to. But none of that fits us, because we's orcs. We ain't no beakies. We ain't no fishheads or Sparky gets. We's fight because we was made to fight. We was made killy. We was made shooty. We was made to war. That's what we was made for. And if we don't a scrap for a while, then we ain't living right. So say it with me. I's gonna do what I's made to do. And I ain't gonna let no other tell me different. I's gonna scrap. I's gonna crump. And I's gonna
brava. Brava. Brava.
Oh.
We're clipping that.
Hey, there we go, man. Do it. Send me the clips.
Of course. Okay. Now, if you need to take a swig of water or something like that to kind of, get the old vocal.
See, this thing is I'm totally good.
Okay. So we're going to wrap up. So one final thing, Matthew, if you can, let everyone in the audience know where they can find you and what you're doing.
So if you just go to my website, it has all my social links at the top. So there you go. So if you just go to my website, it's MatthewGloverVO.com.
And that's in the chat now.
There you go. Yep, just click on that, and then you can actually listen to some samples of my work. I've got I actually put a commercial demo up there. I'm trying to get I'm trying to just make more money doing voice acting.
I hear you.
Yeah. Trying to get that going.
I hear you. Okay, great. So yeah, you heard Matt. Go check him out. Listen to all his WAAAGHFIRMATIONs. Listen to everything he's got going on.
And also the podcast is on Spotify, which is also if you go to my website, there's a Spotify link there. Click on that.
See?
Yep.
It's perfect. All the pitch. Go to the website. You'll find everything you need.
Right there.
Okay, so that's gonna wrap us up for tonight. Let's see. I've already talked about sponsors. I'm not going over the sponsorship list again. We've got a lot going on. Half the Misfits are at Gen Con this weekend. So we've got James and Dungeon Samster and Bard's Tavern over at Gen Con right now. They've got a couple of live plays going on this week. They're doing Dungeon Samster is leading his Night of the Worm, the World of Darkness. I think James will be leading Dress to Quest. I think there's a couple of people for Dress to Quest that are going to be there, so they're doing a live. They're doing stage plays, stage performances at Gen Con for both of those. It's going to be great. Obviously, we're not there, so we can't really enjoy it. But for those that are there, it should be a fun time. It's a good experience, and we'll hear all about it, I'm sure, in the coming days and next week. Tomorrow night, I will be back here in the garage. I will be probably back in Subnautica again, diving the deeps, avoiding the giant squid, because, yeah, that's just what I have to do right now. Next week, we don't have much going on. Let's see, we were back for Tavern Talks. Tavern Talks starting next week will actually be starting at 8 o'clock Eastern. We're going to bump it back, move it to the left a little bit, just to kind of make things a little bit easier for us and our guests, time-wise. So that's a big point to note. Yeah, Reef Shot, we're actually up on YouTube as well right now. That's great. we figured out how to dual stream, and it's all thanks to Shadow. So I don't think there's anything else going on. Michelle, do you know of anything else that's happening right now behind the scenes?
The only thing I can think of is we're trying to get merch going.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yep.
I think that's all that I.
Yeah, that's really about it. I mean, we are working on a merch site. There is some stuff on there. It's on Fourth Wall, but we still have our shirts on Dungeon Grandmaster. Otherwise, I think that's it for the night. I'm gonna find somewhere to raid unless someone has a suggestion. Let's see, who are we following and who is out. So, with all of that in mind,
yeah, I don't think any of my people are on.
Everyone's probably at Gen Con, honestly.
Yeah.
We've got one over here. Yeah, we've got a rerun of a stream. We got someone over here playing Dead by Daylight. It's again, everyone's at Gen Con. It's kind of a quiet weekend, which is a little sad. But let's see. You know what? Because it's me in control, and I like Star Wars, and I like, space fantasy rather than high fantasy. There's a Star Wars game going on. We're going there. So stick around, everyone. Bring your drinks up high. It's great having you here tonight.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys having me here, and if you guys want me to come back, I'll come back.
Oh, don't worry. Stick around.
Absolutely.
Stick around, buddy. Good night, everybody. The bar is now.